Hey, good morning. I hope you're not hungover from the holiday if you were celebrating the 4th. I hope you still have all your fingers. I hope you had a safe and wonderful 4th of July. I'm a little tired today. Being up late does not, my body likes sleep. So I did sleep in a little bit. I didn't set any alarms, but I don't know, it was up late. I told you, I'm tired. So if you got your coffee, let's take a drink. So yesterday was Thursday, which is when I normally come in with 3 fun, new, different, exciting, useful things that I use in my life. But today I wanted to do a 3 things Thursday on Friday, but I wanted to have a little bit of a theme this week. And something that we talk about a lot in our home is screens. Addiction to screens. Are you addicted to your screen? I will be the first to admit I'm addicted. I check my phone a lot. I do that thing where I check my phone to see if anything came through, and then I walk away and do something, and then I come back in and I check it again, even if it's only been 30 seconds. So I believe that is some sort of an addiction. I don't know what I'm dipping into there, but let's talk about it. So there's a few things I did this year to help with that addiction, to help break it. In order to, and I am not a counselor or a therapist, I'm not trained in addiction. I'm not talking about true physiological addiction, but we are tethered to these devices and they're meant to be a tool. And they're a very important tool. So the person who's like, just get rid of your phone. Well, great, except I'm running a business and a family, and there's a lot of really cool shit that my phone does. Down to I'm checking my email on there. I do banking on there. I read the news on there. There's entertainment on there. So all the things that we do in life, our books are now on our devices. So the things that we do day to day, a lot of those are now consolidated into one place, which makes breaking that addiction even harder. But if we don't break it, that tool controls us. So our devices are a tool that we can use in our life. And that could be for entertainment or it could be for work purposes. So here are a few things that I did to help break that addiction, to help break that cycle so that I could move beyond this device. So number 1, kill the red bubbles. You don't need them. I don't care if you're the person who has your little email bubble that says you have 4,000 unread emails, even though that makes my brain explode. Even though you might be the person who can look at that little red bubble and it doesn't make you want to go in and clear everything out, it's still there and it still does something inside the brain. It still connects that there's something undone. So turn them off. You don't need them. You don't need to know every single little comment or thought that your friend had on Facebook or Instagram or the email. You should not know that a new email came in when it comes in. You can check your email at designated times of the day, and that keeps it under your control. So kill those notifications. Go into your settings, go into notifications, and turn them all off. I'll tell you the ones that I left on. Hey, Evan. The notifications that the little red bubbles that I still have on my phone is a call or a voicemail, a direct message. That might be about it. So if you're messaging me directly, meaning that you're texting me or you're sending me a Facebook message or an Instagram, that little red bubble will show up. That means that you're trying to talk to me. But if you're trying to talk to somebody else, I don't need that little red bubble. Turn them off. Just turn them off. Don't let those little red bubbles control you. They control me. So turn them off. Just kill them. Kill them dead. Number 2 tip for breaking that cycle with your phone. So the cycle that I was getting into was I use my phone for music to sleep, and I also use it as an alarm clock. And I'm sure you do too. Like I said, we use our phones for everything, so breaking this cycle is really difficult. So my problem was the alarm would go off in the morning, and then I would reach over to my nightstand and I'd grab my phone and I'd open it up to turn the alarm off, and then I would start checking things. Some morning I got pretty good at not checking email first thing when I woke up, but I would go in and check all my social media networks. I would check the news. And that's not the way you want to start your morning. So if you think about it, when you turn your phone on first thing in the morning, you haven't even got out of bed yet. You haven't even processed a thought yet. But you reach over and you grab your phone and you start scrolling. You're letting everybody else tell you or have some influence over how your day's gonna go. And these tips, there needs to be a caveat. I'm not perfect. I still come out and check Instagram in the morning, even though my phone's not in my bedroom. So tip number 2 is get your phone out of your damn bedroom. It doesn't need to be on your nightstand. Kick it out. So I told you I play music on it to sleep, and I use it as an alarm clock. So how can we do that if our phone's not in our bedroom? So mine is in the kitchen. There are a couple ways. You could have it in the kitchen where maybe you can hear it through your house, and the alarm will go off and you have to actually physically walk out, which is really good for me because I like to hit snooze. But you have to physically walk out and turn it off. Another method that you could use is to get some sort of a Bluetooth speaker. So now I have the Alexa Dot in my bedroom. And so the kitchen's in the phone. I told you, I'm tired. My phone is in the kitchen, but I can hear the music in my bedroom, and the alarm, I can hear it. And you can actually use a lot of the Bluetooth speakers like Alexa have an alarm feature built in. So you can just be like, hey, Alexa, wake me up at 7. The other thing you can do, and I know this one's going to be pushing it too far, you can buy an alarm clock. It's a tough one. It's a really, really tough one. So Evan's saying phone is silent, trying to detach from it during when not working with it. So definitely have it on silent. My phone's on silent all the time. We somewhere in the last, I'd say decade, it feels more like in the last 5 years really, that there seems to be this unspoken rule that we are supposed to be connected at all times. That if somebody calls us, we need to be available. That if somebody texts us, we need to be available. That we need to answer it right away. And you feel guilty. Do you feel guilty if you don't answer a message right away? Yeah, we don't have to do that. That's not a rule. There's no written rule that says when your mom calls, you have to answer right then. Or that when your best friend texts needing an answer to something, that you have to answer her text then. We don't need to be connected all the time. It's killing us. It is. We need to reset the expectation for each other. And we need to give our friends and our family permission to do the same. And that expectation is, sometimes I'm busy. I'll get back to you when I have the chance. That's okay. So we need to change that expectation for ourselves, and we need to not hold anyone else to that expectation that I texted you, why haven't you answered? I don't know, maybe I'm outside. Maybe I left my phone somewhere else so that I could go and actually live the life that I'm in. And I know I'm probably sounding a little harsh, but we've got to break this cycle, guys. It is really, really killing us. And you see it when you're out in public, people just on their phones, people not interacting. These are conversations. We're all having these conversations with each other, talking about these devices. So we need to be the ones that finally say enough is enough. So kill your notifications. Keep the phone out of your bedroom. Do not let the world tell you what your mood is going to be for the day, what your thoughts are going to be, what you need to be worried about. You should still stay informed, but you don't need to know that stuff at 7 a.m. You don't need it. It just isn't. Start your day the way you want to start your day. Start your day, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's exercise, whatever it is, but don't let the outside world influence how you're going to approach your day. So there were two things. The last thing, whatever the app is that you are addicted to, and I know there's one or two of them that you keep tapping back into, right? There's one or two that have got you. So for me, the two were Facebook and Twitter. Delete those apps. You can always add them back. If your life gets that bad after you delete them, if you feel that disconnected, that you're really missing something, you can add them back in. So for me, Facebook, I had deleted around the 2016 election. The app makes it easier to go back in and check. If you have to go into the actual, I use an iPhone, so I go on Safari. So I have to go into Safari and go into Facebook and log in and do it. It's a little more inconvenient, and that little bit of inconvenience is often enough that you're like, I don't feel like it. We're pretty lazy. But for me, so I deleted Facebook and kind of broke that cycle. But Twitter. So for me, Twitter is the most addicting social media app. I can scroll Instagram for 10 minutes, sit it down, go about my day for another 6, 7, 8 hours and not feel compelled to check it again. Twitter, I was checking it every 15, 20, 30 minutes. I would check it, I would scroll, and I would get lost. So whatever the app is, whatever that social app is where you get lost and you come back out kind of groggy and looking around like, what time is it? How did I just lose a half hour? For me, that was Twitter. And I can get into a whole host of reasons that it was Twitter for me. It was a self-righteous feeling. It was recreational outrage. I could just get pissed. I could be mad all the time. And that's just it's not healthy. And guess what? It's not solving any of the world's problems for me to be scrolling pissed off and telling my husband about stuff that I just read. No problems get solved. The business doesn't grow. The relationships with my children aren't healthy. So Twitter was my big one. Maybe you're fine with Twitter. Maybe yours is Instagram. Maybe you're just completely addicted to Snapchat and you just keep going back in and just going back in and just going back in. And you sit the phone down and 15 minutes later you're like, you start side-eyeing it. I wonder what my friends are doing now. Delete the app. So when I deleted Twitter, it took 3 weeks. 3 whole weeks before I quit going in and trying to check it. Before my brain finally understood that we weren't doing that anymore. So those are 3 of the ways that I am cracking this phone addiction, this cycle of being tethered to a device all the time. Kill the red bubbles. Get the damn thing out of your bedroom. Just try it. Please, if you don't do it, just try it. And delete whatever social media app that really is where you feel compelled. You're not consciously like, hey, I wonder what is going on this weekend. So I like Facebook because of all the events, right? It's a great place to find out what's going on. So if you're the person who's like, hey, I wonder what specific thing, and then you go in and you look and you scroll for a couple minutes, that's not the addictive app. It's the one you get lost in. It's the one that leaves you with a less than healthy feeling, where you are no longer doing the work that you said you were going to do because you're distracted. What is that app for you? Like I said, for me it was Twitter, and it took 3 weeks before I finally quit checking. I will not put that app back on my phone. I am not in a healthy place to do that. So those are my 3 tips. I should probably write a blog post with lots and lots more because like my friend Evan was on here. He turns his ringer off. My ringer is never on. Ever. Like unless I know somebody might be like I'm expecting a phone call and I need to pick it up. Half the time when I'm working, if I'm being, disciplined. If I'm being disciplined, my phone isn't even near me. Because that little screen lights up and you start looking, what's going on? Who's saying what? What's happening? So I do have some notifications that come through that are direct to me, but I don't need to see them when I'm trying to write or when I'm trying to do the finances or whatever the work is. So what are your tips? This is a conversation that keeps coming up with people when we're just chatting about the world. It comes up a lot when we're talking with older people, a lot of the baby boomer generation. They see it because it didn't used to be a thing, so they see the difference now versus what it used to be like. And I don't want to disparage our devices too much because they're useful. They're really powerful tools, and I think you should be using them in your business. But I want you to be using the tool. I don't want the tool to be using you, and I see a lot of the tool using us. I saw it in my life, and so this is a constant practice that I'm working on. So what do you do? What are you doing to break that phone addiction, the device addiction, the screen addiction? Maybe you're doing some different things with your children. We do a lot of screens off time. It's basically like screens off for an hour. You can have your screen back in 2 hours. No screens before bed. Trying to build those healthy habits early, knowing what we know now about sleep and about just how the brain works. I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts on this, so I'd be really curious what some of yours are. Those are my 3 things for the day after Thursday, since it was a holiday. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Kill those notifications. Get the damn thing out of your bedroom and delete whatever the app is that has you compulsively checking it. Give yourself a break. Reset. You can always put it back. So I love chatting with you guys. I'm going to go do the thing that I've been trying to put off all week, and that's sit down and write. Yeah, I need to sit down and write. So I'm going to go do that, or dishes or laundry or anything else but write. No, I'm going to go write. So you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will check back with you soon. Take care. Love you guys.